I'm not good enough are the words that keep reoccurring in your mind's chatterbox. So you never take action and you think, really, you're not good enough. However, in this video, we're going to look at how to redirect these words to better serve you. Let's dive in. Words are very powerful such that they can create our own reality. We are not actually likening the creation of a reality to the creation of Allah when He says kun, and it becomes. However, think about it, the words that you usually use become your own reality. Sometimes these words are very powerful such that they lead others to take their own life thinking they do not really have a purpose to live. Actually, these are parts of the conspiracies of the evil against humankind. Remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Surah An-Nas, min sharril waswas al-khannas, from the evil of the lurking whisperer. Lazi yuwaswisu fi sudur an-nas, the one that whispers in the hearts of humankind. Do you get it? You might be wondering why we keep getting those voices in our minds that tells us the very negative. As we said earlier, it's all part of the conspiracy of Shaytan to get us misled. Through that, he would be able to get people who would fall on his path. But let me tell you where it all began. It began when Allah told the angels that He was going to create man, then breathe in him the soul, after which the angels are supposed to prostrate to the human being. So immediately as the soul was breathed into us, He told the angels to prostrate to Adam. All prostrated with the exception of one, which was Satan, Iblis. He was not actually an angel, but he was a jinn that was raised to the station of the angels. He refused to do that. Why? Because he felt that human being cannot be compared to his creation, because human being was created from molded clay and he was created from the fire. So he detested the idea of prostrating when Allah commanded them to do so. So Allah cursed him and sent him away from the heavens. But he told Allah to allow him to live to the end of time. And then he has a mission to mislead those people that he gets the chance. And the way Shaytan gets to mislead people is through their soul. The soul that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted mankind is a soul that is supposed to always submit or surrender to Allah so that it gets protected from the whispers of Shaytan. So through the whisperings to our souls, these are ways Shaytan gets a chance to make us believe less of ourselves. Imagine Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ قَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ, we have honored the son of Adam. And imagine if you are someone that was honored by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over other creations, why should you feel less of yourself? Allah actually created man to be a viceroy for him on this earth. However, Satan has always been the enemy. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Yasin had warned us against Shaytan. إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ. He is a clear enemy to you. So at times when that whispers come, it's just part of the scheme of letting us we are not good enough. Don't be surprised today. People identify themselves other than what they really are, and it's all part of the scheme of Shaytan to mislead people. Allah says that in the Quran. He, Shaytan, was the one saying that he is going to make them change themselves, and this is all part of the scheme of Shaytan. But I just want us to reframe that idea of I'm not good enough to another, sentence that would serve our purpose. Even without reframing the sentence, I ain't good enough, I like to see it this way, that I ain't good enough because I'm obviously seeking perfection. So I like to have that growth mindset, that obviously I'm not good enough, but I like to put myself on the path towards perfection. Remember, what makes Islam or surrendering your soul to Allah beautiful is it has 3 stages or levels. It is all meant to make sure that you attain perfection. That is Islam itself, Iman and Ihsan. So Islam actually is surrendering, as we always say, surrender your soul to Allah, submit to the will of Allah, and surrender your will to Allah. And then as you do that, you are tuned into believing in what Allah says or commands. As you get better in believing in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed, you get to the moment or level of perfection, which is referred to the Ihsan. We may never get to the level of perfection, but as you make that effort towards perfection, you get the traits of perfection. You immerse yourself in any act of worship as if you see Him. And even if you don't see Him, Allah, you feel Allah sees you. And that is the better connection you can always have, so that your soul will always be in alignment with Allah's connection. So, Islam, attaining perfection is just basically being conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In today's world, when they talk about consciousness, they make you feel like you're attaining in that level where arrogance sometimes falls in, where you become so aware of yourself and think it's all just about you. But in Islam, attaining consciousness is basically how to perfect that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In seeking perfection, if it is not done in the right way to seek the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it usually goes wrong. Let me give you a context. You might have seen people who have actually succeeded in life, as we may think. However, they find difficulty in certain aspects of their life. They don't have the peace and tranquility that all the wealth, all the success, all the fame could bring. Why? Because the angle at which they sought perfection was then to prove the entire world. But they actually forgot themselves, and they forgot that the Creator demands that surrendering their soul to Him. So it gets to a point where they get depressed, stressed out, and not having any clue. So in order to avoid such a mistake, as we perfect ourselves, we could only perfect ourselves proving our own self, but not others, or not try to prove the world. I just like to look at it this way. We have the soul and our own self. The soul was put in ourself, right? So if you're seeking perfection, you should be thinking about how you can move from that low level of the soul to the highest level of the soul. And when you do that, and that is how you achieve perfection and then consciousness with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you think what I share with you is valuable, just subscribe so that I get to bring you more about how you can better discover yourself. In a nutshell, we discuss about you having to stay away from self-sabotaging yourself. You're better than you think, and you're closer to the best version of yourself than you think. See you later. Let's meet in Jannah.